When the Founding Fathers draft the Constitution, it's actually a decidedly anti-democratic document.
See, this is a country that was founded on racism.
We have a system that is built on race.
We have to come to terms that this country was indeed built on the back of slaves, period.
America was not built on freedom. America was built on racism.
And we've been taught this narrative of American exceptionalism that we're really indoctrinated. Like, we believe that we're the greatest country that the world has ever seen.
Yeah, well, sadly, we've just started to prove that America is not exceptional.
Hi, everybody. Auntie speaks. Welcome back. If you want to help me out, please subscribe, like, and comment. Okay, so we are going to talk about the 1619 Project because I believe it is corrupting an entire generation. It's a lie. Everything about it is a lie. And Glenn Beck really did a wonderful top down on how much of a lie that it is. So please go over to the Blaze and watch the full video. I know you might not like Glenn Beck. He's sort of an acquired taste for a lot of people, but this needs to get out there. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of what he did, which was absolutely fantastic. Here's Glenn Beck on why the 1619 Project is such a lie.
Soon, every child in America will enter adulthood believing these lies.
Do you believe that America is exceptional?
No, not really.
They'll truly believe that America is bad, that it was built on racism, that our great nation, the one that liberated millions around the world, only exists because of white, evil men who founded it. Lies like these are being forced into classrooms all across the nation and beyond.
This is the 1619 Project.
And lies like these, like the ones the 1619 Project continues to purport, are enough to destroy our nation.
Okay, this is where Glenn Beck loses a lot of people because he does make what a lot of people would say are grandiose claims. And I don't think this is a grandiose claim. Now, it can be because we have Twitter and we have social media that we're able to sort of like see into people's thoughts. But I have seen interview after interview after interview of people just going on college campuses or just talking to people on the streets. And more, if you are under a certain age, you believe that America is a bad country, an evil country. If you are over a certain age, you're looking at this going, huh? How the heck did this happen? 1619, that's how it happened.
See the truth. What is the fastest way to destroy a people? Take their history from them. Keep them dumb, stupid, and not knowing where they came from. Once you lose the story of America, America no longer exists. No one fights because they don't know what they're fighting for. Nobody stands up because why would I?
He is exactly right. There's many famous phrases that you probably all know. Those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Abraham Lincoln, I believe, famously said that no foreign country would ever conquer America. It could only be conquered from within. That's weird. How could you be conquered from within? Well, if you don't believe your country is a good place, if you think your country is basically evil, if you've been taught that since you were 5, that's a really easy way to destroy a country. Now, isn't it?
There is a mini-series that is on this week. It is the 1619 Project. It's a documentary series on Hulu. Let me show you a clip from the trailer.
Centuries in that spirit.
The 1619 Project, it's not a history. It really is talking about America today.
Yeah. The voice you hear is Nikole Hannah Jones, who created and drove this entire enterprise. Now, it's funny that she says, this is not history, because that's not what she said at the beginning of this project. What she said was, quote, "The goal of the 1619 Project is to reframe American history by considering what it might mean to regard 1619 as our nation's birth year." Well, that's not our birth year. Doing so requires us to place the consequences of slavery and the contributions of Black Americans at the very center of the story to tell ourselves about who we are as a country. Okay, well, that's like reimagining that my birth date was 1812, which it clearly wasn't.
She basically freely admits that all of this is a bunch of BS. All of it is a bunch of BS. Imagine what will happen if you have an entire generation of people who are completely and utterly ignorant of history.
Are you out of your mind? This is not the way things work. One review of the new documentary series calls it, quote, "a broad, admirable reframing of our history." Really? Reframing is a generous way to put it. It is actually really bad history. It is poison, as you will see tonight. But I'm not just going to show you the poison. I'm going to show you the cure with the actual documents. This is Nikole Hannah Jones at a racial healing town hall event just last week.
If we acknowledge what this country was actually built upon, if we acknowledge that the reason Black Americans live in the circumstances we do is not because of our pathology, but because of a country that was erected literally on extracting wealth from us, then we have to do something about it. The truth makes powerful. People in this country very scared.
So you can see how this can become dangerous. At the beginning, she, claimed that it was history, and then a bunch of historians came up and went, well, that's not really history, no. Then she said, well, I'm reimagining history. Now she goes back to this is the truth. And why does she have to make this the truth? Well, because she has to make America bad. Because there are disparities in our culture of today. And they have to explain away those disparities. Okay? That's why we are the way we are, because victimhood sells. It's profitable. And hey, if you can blame everything in your situation on someone else and on somebody else 200 years ago or 150 years ago, then hey, that makes your life a lot better, because then no responsibility lies on you. Let's look into some of the history that Glenn Beck highlights.
Published by Congress is this map. It depicts two very different trees growing out of Jamestown. One of 1607 and Plymouth, founded in 1620. Now, he points out that Jamestown and Plymouth were founded on two very different ideological perspectives, which dramatically influenced the way we develop. Quote, "The evil of Jamestown has always been and is at war today with the good of Plymouth. Instead of coming for religious freedom, the Jamestown colonists came as agents of the king for the purpose of economic profit and trade. Slavery was introduced early on in Jamestown and protected by their legal system, the British legal system, biblical principles much more seriously than Jamestown did. Jamestown led to legalized slavery. Plymouth led to the earliest known anti-slavery law in the colonies, perhaps in the world, of 1641. Now, one of the major flaws of the 1619 Project is it totally ignores the anti-slavery heritage of Plymouth. Instead, it's just all about Jamestown, and that narrative is for the whole nation. At the time, 1/5 of the population within the 13 colonies struggled under a brutal system of slavery unlike anything that had existed in the world before. Wow! Now, in order to sell this narrative, the 1619 Project ignores the global context of slavery at the time. But the reality of the time is that slave ownership was not exclusively a white European thing either. An estimated 20 to 40% of American native cultures were enslaved before the first contact with Europeans. He is considered by many, like me, the father of black history. He studied the 1830 census data and found that among free blacks, they were free, who were eligible to own slaves, 16% owned black slaves. Our true history is in trouble, the good and the bad. Let me give you a quote from George Orwell's 1984. He who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past.
That is only a small taste of the information that is in this special. He goes through point by point. Most of the people, I think, watching this video already know these facts. They know that slavery was ubiquitous around the world, all times. The only time it was even questioned was in America and in Britain. And America was actually the first one to question it, not Britain. Britain was the first one to pass laws for the entire country and around the world. The British did incredible things to try to stop the slave trade. So please check out this Glenn Beck special. I am a huge history buff. I love history. I would have been a history teacher, but both of my parents were teachers. So I knew how much a teacher made, and I didn't want to live on that type of salary, so I didn't become a history teacher. But please, go watch The Blaze. Go watch this special. And just pass it around. Millions and millions and millions of people need to see it. And we need to kill this 1619 nonsense. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.